Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everyone is feeling great today. Happy Monday to all of you. And today I want to focus, of course, on fitness, which is one of my favorite things. I want to let you know that in your journey, as you're aiming toward your goal, as you're working toward your goal, you set your goals, you're working toward it. This whole thing about getting lean, there is a truth to it, but there's many truths to getting lean. There's a lot of things that you can, how can I say, add to what you do that's going to help you get there. And I like to let you know that this thing about getting lean, getting in shape, getting a fit body is not complicated. If you find it complicated, it's because you probably have maybe too much information. Maybe there's too many things that you're trying to do. And it's really, really simple. I have seen a lot of people work out and they don't get in shape. They work out, they go to the gym 5-6 days a week, and they don't get in shape. Now, why is it that that happens? It's because what you are doing outside of the gym has a bigger impact than the 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours that you're in the gym. That's why. If you are eating a lot of things that you shouldn't be eating, but you work out hard, you're not gonna get there. You are not gonna get there. You may get in shape to some degree, yes. You can see some changes, but you're not gonna see the results that you're looking for. You're not gonna see them. It's gonna be very, very difficult. Because what you do in the kitchen, all that eating late at night and eating the wrong foods and, you know, your calorie intake being beyond what you burn, that's the biggest impact. And that's the reason why you cannot reach your goal. So I was a victim of it. For many years, I was eating more and burning less. Until I discovered, especially through experts, reading, educating myself a little bit in the industry, and just figuring out what works for me. I understand that everybody is different, but it all comes down to that simple foundation of being in a calorie deficit. That's what it comes down to. And it sounds, I don't know how it sounds to you, but to me it sounds like a little bit harsh. Calorie deficit. So you're telling me I gotta eat less and burn more? Yes. Yes, you do. That's just the way it works. That's the way that you burn that fat. And you don't have to eat the greatest foods in the world. You don't have to eat the healthiest stuff in the world. But you do have to eat healthy foods. You know, I tend to be lenient toward fruits, vegetables. I have beans, I have rice, I eat meat. But I try to go lean as I can, but not to an extreme either. You know? I just keep it simple with the foods. I don't eat anything crazy, and I eat the same thing every day. You know, eggs to get my protein. Sometimes I might have a protein smoothie, you know, with a yogurt that has maybe 20 or 15 grams of protein, a little bit of peanut butter to give it some taste. I'll even add some honey. But like I said, I am in a calorie deficit. So therefore, I can actually enjoy what I'm eating. I can actually enjoy it. I even have cheat days. But like I said, even though I have those cheat days, I'm not going crazy, you know? I'm eating in a calorie deficit. That's the way to do it. So I've just, I'm seeing too many people just working out so hard. The few times that I have gone to the gym, because these days I work out from home, but from time to time I tend to, go with my wife, with my daughter, and I look around and I see people and I can tell right away. I can tell. You can tell, like when somebody is locked in and when they're not. I've seen people with lifting their form is just way off, and sometimes they're lifting maybe too heavy, or sometimes they're lifting the same weight for a long time and they don't go up. You have to challenge your muscles. You have to challenge them. The only way they grow is through resistance. And yes, it is uncomfortable. Yes, it is painful, of course. And yes, you're gonna feel sore the next day. That's just part of it. That's part of this lifestyle. When you want to do it, you're gonna get a little bit sore because you're having a mind and muscle connection. You're breaking down your muscles. So of course, the next day you're gonna be sore. And that's a sign that you did it the right way, most likely. But again, you have to eat less and burn more. That's what this whole thing comes down to. It's simple. And you just have to keep showing up, and you got to stay locked in on the nutrition side. The nutrition is where I notice that most people fail. Yeah, I do see that people are inconsistent with their workouts, but the biggest failure that I've seen is the food. People like you got to be strong mentally. You got to understand that this thing is a mindset. You got to program your mind to, go and lean. It's a mindset. It's a lifestyle. So until you don't change that, you can go to the gym and, I hope that you don't get caught in the trap of doing all these crazy cardios and all this stuff because you're trying to burn fat. Listen, the best way to burn fat, the simplest way to burn fat from what I've learned, is you put yourself in a calorie deficit. You eat less and you burn more. When you do that, you're gonna see incredible results. You're gonna see that your consistency in the gym, challenging your muscles, doing your workouts, not skipping workouts. You don't skip on them. You do your workouts. You do what you have to do. You have that intensity. You be intentional. You're going to see as time goes by, you're going to get fit. You're going to get that lean body. And I'm not making this stuff up. I want to let you know, I'm not making this up. I'm not saying this because I heard somebody else say this. No, I'm telling you this because this is what I'm living. I have taken off my shirt and I can see a visible six-pack now, and I'm in my mid-40s. All I did was I got locked in with my nutrition. I stopped messing around with junk food, and I still have my cheat days, like I said, but I realized putting myself in a calorie deficit, eating the right foods, being consistent with my workout, challenging my muscles, I have seen amazing changes in my body, and I feel good. I feel very good. I feel good physically. I feel younger. I feel stronger. I feel agile. I'm more flexible. But like I said, it comes down to just doing this thing the right way, sticking to that foundation. So remember, the foundation is calorie deficit. Calorie deficit. You got to eat less and burn more. You have to change those habits. So as long as you stick to doing what you're not supposed to do, I'm telling you, I have seen way too many people throughout the years going nuts in a gym. And it's always the same story. They're either going to end up quitting, they get injured, they get hurt, they get frustrated. You got to get out of that vicious cycle and get yourself in the right lane, which is caloric deficit, as they call it now. Calorie deficit. That's the key thing, people. So remember, once you change that, you will see the results. So I want to challenge you today, as I challenged myself. Put yourself in a caloric deficit. and give yourself time. Remember, this doesn't happen overnight, but you'll be surprised if you're patient and you give yourself time, you're gonna see it happen. You're gonna see your body change, because I've seen my body change. I have seen growth. I have seen an increase. I have seen more muscles. I have seen my body get a little bit more toned. I see it in my quads, the abs. My wife tells me, wow, you look better. And she's not lying. I know she loves me, but she's not lying. And I see it when I look at myself in the mirror. So I challenge you today to put yourself in a calorie deficit and give yourself time. And after a few months, you're gonna be surprised how you're gonna start to lose weight, burn fat, and build muscle. So there it is, my people. Please take care of yourselves as always. Be careful with what you put in your body. Don't take any shortcuts. Take care of your mental health. Get proper rest. Make time to go to the gym, people, because it does matter. Your body is a temple that was entrusted to you by our Creator. So take care of yourselves, and I hope that you all have a very, very blessed day, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.